For over 60 years, India assessed wealth using the Income Tax Act of 1961, a system designed for an economy recorded in ink on paper ledgers. As wealth moved from physical vaults to cloud storage and employment shifted toward gig work, those paper-era definitions began to fracture. The old code lacked the specific vocabulary needed to classify modern digital transactions. To address this, the government passed the Income Tax Act 2025. This legislation completely repeals the 1961 law, removing the previous legislative framework entirely. This new statutory system becomes fully active and enforceable on April 1, 2026. Mechanically, the new law operates like a multi-tiered funnel. It takes the abstract data points of the modern economy and sorts them through a series of specific filters to categorize wealth. The 2025 Act is a structural rewrite. It moves beyond simple updates to create a classification system built specifically to capture 21st century assets. The first filter at the top of this funnel is identity. The law establishes a broad definition for a person, a category that includes individual citizens, corporations, and even local municipalities. However, simply existing as a person does not create a tax obligation. There is a precise boundary where a general citizen legally transforms into an assessee. That transformation occurs at the moment a tax becomes payable, or when the department officially initiates a legal proceeding against an individual. By separating everyday identity from a formalized tax identity, the government creates a specific mechanism to track only those with active financial obligations. Once classified as an assessee, you hit the second filter, time. The standard financial calendar runs from April 1st to March 31st, defined as the tax year. But because modern businesses and freelance careers can start at any time, the law includes a specific exception for new entities. If a startup launches in the middle of November, the law generates a custom, shortened first tax year that begins on that specific day. This ensures that as soon as an entrepreneur begins generating value, the government's ability to track that income begins instantly. The third filter expands the definition of taxable revenue, reaching far beyond the limits of a standard monthly salary. Winnings from lotteries, crossword puzzles, and card games are now explicitly targeted, regardless of whether the game is played for sport or entertainment. The code also specifically identifies wagering on animal races. These payouts are now categorized as clearly defined taxable sources of income. For modern streams like television game shows and online gaming, the law applies a strict flat 30% tax rate. To maintain a record of these earnings, the Act grants legal recognition to digital ledgers, including cloud storage and memory cards, as official books of account. By redefining both the source of the money and the digital tools used to record it, the Act closes loopholes that relied on outdated analog definitions. The fourth filter addresses physical property, drawing a line between a taxable capital asset and an exempt personal effect. Personal effects include utilitarian items used for daily life, such as clothing and furniture. These items remain tax-free when they are transferred or sold. However, any object that functions as a store of value is strictly taxed. This includes precious metals and gold jewelry. The category of taxable capital assets also includes historical, archaeological collections and ancient sculptures. Fine art, drawings, and paintings are subject to the same classification, ensuring that high-value aesthetics are treated as taxable wealth. The code distinguishes between the objects needed for daily living and those used to accumulate value, ensuring that the latter are mathematically integrated into the tax net. The final boundary of the 2025 Act is the official classification of virtual digital assets. By defining cryptocurrency and NFTs as capital assets, these tokens enter the government's tax net, just like real estate. One specific exclusion applies. Official fiat currency is not a digital asset, allowing it to move freely. Classifying these tokens removes the legal ambiguity they previously occupied, placing the responsibility for transparent reporting directly on the asset holder. As these filters become active on April 1, 2026, citizens must fundamentally adjust how they track their wealth. The law has updated its framework to match the complexity of the digital and physical assets that define the modern economy.